What's up everyone, it's Cloud Chief, and in my last video I covered how you go about making an Empyrean weapon. However, I didn't go over the shield or the harp at all. So that's what this video is about, to cover how you actually make the harp and the shield, because they have a slightly different build process. The harp and the shield all take place in Heroes Abyssea zones. So it's only the 3 Heroes Abyssea zones, so Daurdabla, the Range, and Daurdabla. So to start the whole process, you just need to go talk to the crew or prospector right next to the entrance after you have visitation status, and go ahead and just click on your exchanging crewer for items, and then you just scroll to the bottom of the list and you'll see a shield and a harp. You pick up whatever one you want to make, and you have now the base weapon. You now need to go to the Magian Trial Moogle to turn in the items needed to upgrade and finally get the shield and the harp fully upgraded. So the first step in the process requires 50 iron plates, and you can acquire these from an iron giant, and there are actually 3 of them, 1 in each zone, and it's about the same to pop any of them. To pop an iron giant, you need 2 items. One that's just going to drop from a mob, and then you need to actually get an item from another set of mobs, and then you use that item to pop an NM, and then that NM will drop an item, and then you have the 2 items to go ahead and pop the iron giant to get the plate. So for Daurdabla, you need to go to Conflux 8, and the bombs that are right off to the right from the Conflux, if you're heading north, will actually drop an arm, and you'll know it's the right item because it's rare, and that's the single item you need. You then want to keep heading north from there, and there'll be a bunch of pots. Just kill them until you get the bubbling oil. The bubbling oil will allow you to pop a pot NM, and then that pot NM will actually drop a fragment, and the fragment is what you need with the arm to go ahead and pop the iron giant. For Daurdabla, it is basically the same exact thing. You need to go to Conflux 8, and from Conflux 8 off to the right, if you're heading north from the Conflux, you'll find a bunch of bombs. Again, you need an arm off of them that is rare, and then you need to go kill the dolls. The dolls will drop the sandy shard. The sandy shard is actually used to actually pop the NM. After you pop the NM, you'll get some mercury. It'll be special mercury that is, again, labeled rare, and then between the arm and the mercury, you can go ahead and pop the iron giant. And for the range, it is a little different. For the range, you need to go to Conflux 7, and it's not actually bombs here, it is actually gears instead. So if going from the Conflux, if you essentially hug the right wall, you'll eventually run into a bunch of gears. You go ahead and kill those gears, and you'll actually get some gear fluid. That's the single item you need. Then from there, you would want to head back like you're heading towards the Conflux, but in this way, hug the right wall, and you'll actually head north through a passage, and there'll be a bunch of mechanoloids. You go ahead and kill them, and it'll drop some gears. You go ahead and trade the gears to the question mark, and it'll pop mechanoloid NM, beat him, and you will get another set of gears from that NM, and the gears from the NM, and then the fluid will actually pop the iron giant by the waterfall. Just be aware, for whatever reason, iron plates seem to not have a high drop rate for dropping 2 iron plates. It seems to be substantially less than every other Empyrean item that you would be farming when the NM drops 2 with TH. For whatever reason, you much more frequently only get 1 iron plate, so just be aware of that. Just go ahead and get 50 iron plates, and you are ready to move on to the next step. So the next step in the process is you need 75 colorless souls. You obtain colorless souls from the tier 3 Voidwalker NMs in hero zones. So if you're not sure how Voidwalkers work and you want some more information, check the link down in the description and that'll take you to my Voidwalker guide, which will explain how Voidwalkers work and how you can upgrade your Abysite and all that stuff. But basically you just need to kill the tier 3 Voidwalker in a hero zone until you've acquired 75 colorless souls to finish this step. In Altepa, you can find the tier 1 Voidwalkers basically between Conflux 3 and 7, and then the tier 2 and tier 3 Voidwalker pop basically near Conflux 5. In Gralberg, the tier 1s pop between Conflux 3 and 4, and then the tier 2 and tier 3 Voidwalker pop north of Conflux 8. Up in the range, the tier 1 Voidwalkers pop near Conflux 5 and 6, and the tier 2 and tier 3 Voidwalker pop south to southeast of Conflux 7. And then this is where the path kinda splits for the harp and shield for the last step. So you need 75 horns, but it's different NMs that you need horns from, whether you're going for the shield or the harp. If you're going for the shield, you need to go to Gralberg and you go near Conflux 7. There will be a buggered NM that will spawn every 10 to 15 minutes, and he drops a key item. You can also get this key item out of a gold chest. And once you have that, you just go ahead and can pop the Dragon NM that's not terribly far from Conflux 7, and that's all you need. You just need to get 75 horns off of that dragon, and congratulations, you now have a level 90 shield. As for the harp, you need to go up to the range and you need to go to Conflux 7, and essentially you need to fight a Chimera NM and get horns from him. However, this NM is a lot more work and a lot more effort, as you have to fight 2 different NMs just to get to the lesser NM that gives you the key item for the greater NM. So let's go over that. So firstly, somewhat close to where the NM that you actually need to get the horns from spawn, there are a bunch of Marids or Oliphants, basically elephants, that you need to kill to get them to drop an HQ hide. That is one of the items that you need to pop the lesser NM. Then, if you actually go from there and head north, you'll go up a ramp, and off to the left there will be a bunch of golems. There will actually be a golem NM that is time spawned every 10 to 15 minutes, and you need to get a fragment that drops off of that NM. Once you have that fragment off of that NM, that is the second item you need to pop the lesser Chimera. Then, if you keep going west from the golems, you'll actually run into a bunch of snolls. You need to kill the snolls for an arm that'll show up as rare. You go ahead and trade the arm to a question mark near there, and that will pop a Snoll NM. Once you kill that Snoll NM, you have a chance of obtaining a Snow God Core, which is the last item you need for popping the lesser Chimera. At this point, you will have the 3 items. You can go down the ramp and you can go ahead and pop the lesser Chimera. You need to proc red if you want 100% key item drop on this NM, so you can move on to the greater NM that actually drops the horns that you need. So I highly recommend when popping this, you're either on War Nin or Nin War, so that way you're guaranteeing your highest possible success for procking red. Because if you don't proc red, you might have done all that work for nothing, and you have to now do it all again just to hope you get a key item to move on to the greater Chimera. Also, sadly to say, that you cannot get this key item out of a gold chest. It's kind of lame that, you know, the shield you can get from a gold chest and it's only 1 NM, whereas for the Chimera, you need to kill 2 NMs, you need to kill also just 2 different sets of normal mobs for items, to then pop a lesser NM, then to have a chance for a key item that you can't even get out of a gold chest. I don't know what SC was thinking, but that's how it works. And once you finish that step, congratulations, you now have a 90 harp and can now actually do 3 bard songs. So with Ochain, you're not getting much benefit past level 90. Once the shield's level 90, that's when you're getting the convert block damage to MP, and you're getting the ridiculous block rate that Ochain is known for. By taking Ochain to 95 and then 99, that will increase the amount of MP converted, but honestly, it's only 10% more, and MP shouldn't even really be a problem, especially if you have Ochain. The 25% is typically more than enough than you need, and you're not getting any more increased block rate. The only thing you're getting besides the additional percent of converting damage to MP is going to be the VIT on the shield. So pretty much the consensus is, once you have Ochain to level 90, don't worry about it. It's not worth the time, energy, effort, and guild costs to take it any further beyond 90, because you're only getting minor upgrades. However, for the harp, that's different. So once the harp is level 90, you can now actually make 3 songs on Bard. While that might seem really good, it's not that big of a deal because you can get 3 songs with the Obero weapon. However, getting harp all the way up to level 99 actually gives it 4 songs, which is the main point and what you really want to do with harp. So you need to take harp through the heavy metal plates and the rift cinder part for the harp. Don't worry about afterglowing it because that's not worth the time, energy, and effort. But you definitely want to get harp to 99 so that way you can have that 4th song, which is what makes it so strong. And that's how you go about making this shield and the harp. So slightly different process than it was for all the Empyrean weapons, which is why I wanted to make a separate video about it. But it's still very similar since it's all done at the Magian Trial. I do feel that the harp and the shield are somewhat easier than any weapon because you don't have all that initial NM stuff. And considering now that Voidwalkers, if you've gone through Rhapsody missions enough, that you can have your K item change every time, makes farming the colorless souls substantially easier. So it is still a lot of work to get the shield and or the harp, but I still think it's easier than getting the actual weapons. And that about wraps it up for Empyrean stuff, guys. So we've gone over both the weapons and the shield and harp. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting the channel. And as always, may you have success in all you do.